How's it going? Today we picked up this Bauer 4 cubic foot cement mixer. We'll do a quick unboxing and then show you how to assemble it. And then after that, if it cools down a little today, we'll throw some bags of concrete in and see how it runs. Step 1. Cut these plastic deals off. Alrighty. This is a newer model, I think, from Harbor Freight. They used to have those orange metal ones. They're like $200. Recently seen this Bauer. Never used anything of this brand, but Bauer, I think that's how you say it. It's a plastic tub, and it's about $380. It says you can do 2 bags of concrete, 2 80-pound bags. Poly drum, so it should be easier to clean. 1/2 horsepower. Pretty standard. I mean, nothing to write home about here when you're doing this kind of stuff. If you're doing small projects, homeowner stuff, or weekends, if you can't get concrete, it should come in handy. I'm just doing a little something at my place. Figured I'd try it out, and then if we have some jobs for the business we can use it on, then it'll just be readily available. I think you can rent these style things from most of your Menards, Lowe's, Home Depot for $20 or $30 a day, but it's kind of nice to just have one. You can just grab it and throw it in the truck and go. It does weigh 90.4 pounds. Anyways, enough blabbering. I'll just get this thing unboxed for you guys. Here's your classic owner's manual and safety instructions. Tells you your extension cord length. Not seeing really nothing of importance here. But we'll get everything unpackaged and then we'll go through the assembly quick. Shouldn't be bad. Most of the stuff you buy from here takes 20 minutes or so tops. Hardware, it's like some handles. Everything seems packaged pretty well. Everything's pretty heavy duty. All right, let me just unbox the rest of this, get everything laid out, and then I'll come back. All right, we got everything unpackaged and laid out. There's the motor it came with. Poly drum. Bunch of accessories here, so we'll start with assembling the wheels and pivot and all this good stuff. This first step, you're going to need this package of bolt 1, 2, 28, 29, 30. This main bracket piece that says Bauer on it, and your 2 wheels. All right, should look like so. You got your bolt with a sleeve. Put that in there. Flat washer, lock washer nut. Tighten it down, 3/4 inch wrench. One thing to note on these is that plastic right there is larger on one side. So I did end up having to flip this one. Otherwise it'll rub on that bracket. So make sure your larger hub piece of this plastic wheel is on the inside. Next step will be putting this support frame piece onto the rear leg. Make sure the rear leg is bent up so those feet there hit the ground. Then you'll be using a large, here's your package of bolts. It's a large bolt, 2 large bent washers, and the large lock nut here. Tighten those down with a 17mm wrench. Slide it through. Then put your pivot bracket on and bolt that together. You have 2 bolts here, the 2 long bolts in that same package, your bent washers and lock nuts. Those will be tightened with 14mm wrench, 14mm wrench, 13mm nut. All right, the next step, you're gonna take your support frame and your electric motor, and the motor just slips in. It's already got studs here. Slip it through these 4 holes, put flat washer and lock nut. Still working from the same package of hardware that we did the previous step in. So that will be torqued with a 13mm socket. You can get a wrench in there if you don't have a socket, but I'm gonna use a ratchet, make it a little faster. Next step, you would take your front handle and attach it to the support frame, which I did here. That is the bent one. I laid this on its side, made it a little easier. That goes in here with bolt number 9 and a bent washer 10. It's a different package of bolts. 4 bolts, 4 bent washers. Goes in there. I'm going to install the rear handle next. Front and rear handles are installed. That is a 14mm bolt. Not sure if I told you. 4 bolts on the back of here. They're 14mm. Before you put this pivot bracket on, make sure you slide this through here, bolt your pivot bracket on, and there's 4 bolts behind there. Torque all that. Next, you lift the motor and the frame, and you set it onto the legs and the wheel, and then slide this pin through, and you got a cotter key on this side. If everything is tightened down, the last thing we have to do is take our drum and slide it onto this motor shaft here. You got 2 parts left. This slides in here, locks it in, and you got a cotter pin you can put in there and fold back. So let's do that now. Here's what the bottom side of the drum looks like, if anyone's wondering. So you just mate those 2 surfaces and then put that pin in. All right, we got it fully assembled. Everything went together pretty easy. Had one little hiccup where I got ahead of myself trying to make a video and all that, and had to take the pivot part apart to get the, everything back together. But otherwise, everything looks good. It looks heavy duty. Runs good. To throw some concrete in it. Really like this poly tub. Looks like it's gonna be easy to clean. You'll need a pair of pliers to bend this cotter key here. Otherwise, you can do everything with like 13, 14, 17mm wrench or sockets or both. And then to pivot it, you just pull this gold little handle, pull that out, and then you can flip this tub down. So we'll have to see how it works. If it dumps smooth or anything. I'll put some concrete in it here soon, and then just make sure you lock this again. All right, we got it mixing. Got a little water in there. I did do a bag already, so we're gonna slap another bag in and we'll let it mix. This is just one 60-pound bag. I'm making this a little wetter. I'm filling in the drain. So mix accordingly to what you're doing, I guess. So I'm just gonna let this one mix while I go dump the other one out. So far it works good. All right, back on the Bauer. Put 8 bags through it and no complaints. Worked really well. Definitely like the poly tub for cleaning it, and it a little bit lighter weight and stuff, but no complaints whatsoever. I don't know long term how it's gonna run, but everything seems heavy duty. I know I'm always a little skeptical with Harbor Freight stuff, but this is a little touch better than the irregular stuff you find. These are metal. Everything's all bolted together. But yeah, if I have any issues with it at all, I'll post a comment or something in this video and let you know. But for 400 bucks, I don't think you can go wrong with that if you do a little bit of work here and there with it. So thanks for watching.